Okay, tell me exactly what's happened.
My wife's had a fit, and I think she's in the garden. She's unconscious.
Are you with the patient now?
I'm just indoors at the moment.
Right, you need to go and check on her, sir, for me, please. Is she breathing?
Don't think so.
Right, well, check her for me. Is she breathing?
I don't think so. She's had a fit.
Welcome to Totally True Crime.
Totally True Crime.
Helen Elizabeth Bailey was born on the 22nd of August 1964, just outside of Newcastle in England. She was a bright and intelligent girl who achieved a degree in physiology, and she had planned to become a forensic scientist. But she found an opportunity to work in the media, working in product licensing. But since she was a child, Helen had enjoyed writing. She recalled writing extensive diary entries when she was a young girl, and in 2008, she had her first book published. The books were aimed at a teenage audience, full of teenage angst, in a series titled The Crazy World of Electra Brown, which consisted of 5 novels. She also wrote books for younger children. She wrote the Felicity Wishes series, as well as Willow in the Wood Sprite and the Topaz series. In all, she had 22 books that were in the homes of young people throughout the world, as well as in libraries and schools. In February 2011, Helen and her husband went on holiday to Barbados. They had been together for 22 years, but on that holiday, tragedy struck. Her husband, John, drowned whilst he was swimming in the sea. Helen processed her grief in the best way she knew how. She wrote about it. She started writing a blog documenting her journey through grief, and eventually turned it into a book for adults titled When Bad Things Happen in Good Bikinis.
Hi everybody, it's Helen. I'm a writer and I'm also the founder of the Planet Grief blog. And this was a blog that I started in June 2011, which was about 4 months after my husband drowned at the end of February 2011. And when I started the blog, I didn't have any ideas about having pretty pictures or fabulous fonts. I just wanted to write. I just wanted to get out there. And it was never originally intended for anybody other than myself and then 2 or 3 other widows. And it snowballed to reach tens of thousands of people. 4.5 years of writing the blog has shown me that writing out your stories, your feelings can really help as part of the healing process.
In the book, Helen disclosed that in October 2011, she had met a widower who had 2 adult sons. His wife's death had been the result of an epileptic fit. The pair found common ground in their grief and started a relationship. She referred to Ian as the gorgeous grey-haired widower in her book, but his real name was Diane Stewart. Ian moved into Helen's house in Royston, Hertfordshire, and their relationship blossomed. Helen's success meant that they lived a comfortable lifestyle. She had a net worth of nearly £4 million and no children of her own, though she became very fond of Ian's sons. Their relationship progressed, and soon they were engaged to be married. But on the 11th of April 2016, Helen went missing. She'd last been seen out walking her dog earlier that day. Her Dutch hound Boris was also missing. Ian called the police and said that he'd found a note from Helen saying that she was going to her holiday home in Broadstairs, Kent, but she'd never arrived. Here's the call he made to report her missing.
Please, how can I help?
Hello there. My partner has been missing since Monday and not contacted anyone. Said she was going away. Hasn't gone ended up where she said she was going. So we've just decided we should report it.
What's your partner's name?
Helen Bailey.
And what's her date of birth?
Oh, crikey. God, you phoned me there. 22nd. Right, just let me double check. 1 second. Oh, God.
Her eye colour.
Oh, my God. How do you forget these things? I don't know at the moment. Sorry, it's just gone out of my head.
Blank, that's no problem.
Sorry. God, that's terrible. She left a note. She said in the note something like, I need space and time alone. I'm going to Broadstairs. Please don't contact me in any way.
And was that note a bit of a shock? Were you expecting it at all?
No, I wasn't. Well, yes, it was a shock. She has talked about it, but it was still a shock.
Yeah.
She has talked about wanting space because things just haven't been going well for her recently, or for us.
She's definitely not at home, no.
No, brother asked that. I've literally checked everywhere. We have got quite a large house, but I have literally checked everywhere.
Helen's mother and brother told the police that her disappearance was completely out of character. She'd never run away before, even when things had been tough. The police started an investigation. Helen had been a season ticket holder for Arsenal football team, and appeals were put out on screens during their football matches, asking people to come forward if they had any information. A Facebook group called Where is Helen Bailey had over 50,000 members. Ian also appealed for information. He said, "Whatever has happened, wherever you are, I will come and get you. We miss you and Boris so much. We are shattered in so many ways. You not only mended my heart 5 years ago, but you made it bigger, stronger and kinder. Together, we learnt to live with our grief and move forward with our lives, but never forgetting. Now it feels like my heart doesn't even exist. Our plans are nowhere near complete, and without you, there is no point." The police asked locals to check their outbuildings and sheds and described her disappearance as perplexing. They'd checked hundreds of hours of CCTV footage and revealed that they couldn't find any evidence of foul play. It was like she had just vanished into thin air.
Thank you all for coming today to assist us in finding my sister, Helen Bailey. I'm her brother, John. I just want to read you this statement. I can't believe it's been a month since my sister Helen disappeared. As you can imagine, this has been an extremely difficult time for our family, and as more time passes since she was last seen, the more concerned we become. As you know, there is little information for the police to work on. We are also worried. If anyone has any information concerning my sister, where my sister may be, I would urge you to call the police. I would also ask Helen, if you see or read this appeal, please let someone know you are okay. I know you had said that you wanted some time and space, and we don't want to intrude on that unless you want us to. We'll do anything you need us to. All we need is for some information that you are okay, even if that comes from someone you know and trust. Please let someone know. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The investigators started looking at Helen's mobile phone data. Her phone had been switched off from the day she went missing, but briefly, 5 days later, her phone had connected to the internet router at her holiday home in Broadstairs. Did this mean that she was alive? Journalists and police flocked to her home in Broadstairs and questioned her neighbours. One man told a journalist that he had seen Helen after she went missing, but later retracted his statement, saying that he could have seen her in March, before she went missing. Behind the scenes, suspicions around Diane Stewart were growing. The police could find no evidence of Helen ever leaving their house. They then discovered that Ian had made 2 attempts to sell a flat that Helen owned. The first attempt was on the day she went missing. Ian had also told the estate agent that Helen was too unwell to attend the appointment. He also increased a standing order from Helen's bank account that paid into his account every month, from £400 to £600. Other transactions from Helen's account were also made, including renewing the couple's Arsenal season tickets, which Ian had done over the phone. But there was still no sign of Helen. It was clear that it was Ian Stewart accessing her bank account. In July, 3 months after Helen went missing, Ian went to Spain on a 2-week holiday that the couple had booked earlier that year. Helen's friends and family were lost for words. How could he just go on holiday whilst his fiancée was still missing? The police decided that they needed to question Ian Stewart, and they arrested him in the early hours of the 11th of July as he returned from the holiday.
Morning, Ian. How are you? I'm Detective Sergeant Dave Sharp from the Major Crime Team. We've got a warrant to search the address. Section 8 work, or Section 8 pace warrant. You just want to listen to what Justice's got to say?
Some word I need to say to you, Stuart, okay? I'm arresting you on the suspicion of the murder of Helen Bailey and of disposing her body in a manner to likely to instruct the coroner and a theft of money, Helen Bailey. Okay, so you do not have to pay anything, but it may harm your defence. Do you mention one question? Front of the NATO line in court. Anything you do say may be given on evidence. Do you understand that?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, you right towards the dam?
Bloody hell, why?
Okay, we're going to speak to you at the police station, all right? So what needs to happen, you need to probably get some clothes on, okay, and then you need to go to the police station, and these officers will transport you to the police station, and then you'll have a chance to be interviewed at the police station, okay?
Okay, so my name's Norrie. I'm also a sergeant from the Major Crime Team. So
follow me.
You and you go upstairs so you can get...
Is it James, is it?
Yes, the client got in the Lakers. So upstairs and get your dress.
Do you want a glass of water? Go upstairs with the sergeant and get yourself dressed, and we'll take it from there, okay?
Why? I don't understand. What happened? Don't tell them. We can't discuss it.
We can't discuss it at the moment. We'll talk to you when we get to the police station, alright?
Where is she?
Ian was taken to the police station, where he was questioned about Helen's sudden and mysterious disappearance. Meanwhile, the police conducted a search of their large house. Helen's brother was also interviewed, and he told the police that on one occasion, when he'd visited Helen at her home, Ian Stewart had shown him a cesspit located in their garden, and Helen had joked that it would be a great place to hide a body. Ian Stewart had been fully within earshot. The devastating irony of that exchange would now become a reality. On the 15th of July, Helen's body was found in the cesspit by investigators, alongside the body of her dog Boris. They were both covered in human excrement. The police also found a dog toy and 2 black bin bags buried with them. The police had to dig away at the side of the garage to preserve the evidence and get Helen out in one piece. Her identity was confirmed when a forensic dentist arrived at the house to compare the body they'd found with Helen's dental records. These confirmed that this was the body of Helen Bailey. The coroner examined Helen's body, and her cause of death was ruled as suffocation, but tests could not determine whether she had suffocated before she entered the cesspit or as a result of being put in there. Further tests showed that Helen had sleeping tablets in her system. In the weeks before her death, she'd been making strange internet searches, including falling asleep at work and in the middle of the day. Helen's mother told police that she'd been feeling anxious and worried about her tiredness. The police discovered that Ian Stewart had been drugging Helen with anti-insomnia medication in the weeks leading up to her murder. Ian was charged with murder, fraud, preventing a lawful burial, and 3 counts of perverting the course of justice. And that is when Ian came out with another explanation. He said that 2 men called Nick and Joe had kidnapped Helen and were demanding £500,000 in ransom money. He said he hadn't said anything before, in case they did something to Helen. The police found no evidence to support his story and felt that Ian was just trying to cover up Helen's murder. Ian stood trial in January 2017 at St Albans Crown Court. The court were not shown the photos of Helen in the cesspit because the judge said they were too traumatising. Ian pled not guilty to all charges. The police explained that Ian had travelled to their holiday home in Broadstairs the day after Helen was murdered. He had taken the SIM card out of her phone, which he had taken with him, but when he arrived, her phone automatically connected to their Wi-Fi, and that's why it looked as though her phone had been switched on again 5 days after she went missing. The court heard how Ian had met Helen in a forum for bereaved people, and that he had love-bombed Helen, sweeping her off her feet, and instigated an intense relationship with her, with the goal of stealing her money. In February 2017, 56-year-old Ian Stewart was found guilty of Helen's murder and sentenced to a minimum of 34 years in prison. He refused to come out of his cell to attend the sentencing. But soon, Ian would be facing another murder trial, because the police now had suspicions that he might have killed someone else, his first wife. Ian Stewart's first wife, Diane, had died in their marital home in Bassingbourn, Cambridgeshire, in 2010. Her death had been attributed to a fit caused by epilepsy, but investigators wanted to look into her death. Diane's brain had been donated to medical research when she died, and it meant that her brain could be re-examined to confirm her cause of death. Professor Sada Al-Sarraj examined her brain and was able to determine that the damage to her brain would have occurred between an hour to 35 minutes before her death, indicating that she'd been restricted of oxygen. The doctor said that deaths that occur due to epilepsy are usually quick, and when he discovered that Diane hadn't had any epileptic symptoms for over 18 years prior to her death, he knew that something wasn't right. He suspected that Diane had been murdered. The police built a case around this new information, and the investigators went to visit Ian Stewart in prison. They told him they needed to speak to him and put him in the back of a police car.
Okay. Having left prison property, time now is 10:15 by my watch. Mr. Stewart, I'm arresting you on suspicion of the murder of your late wife, Diane Stewart.
You're joking?
On Friday.
You're digging this.
Friday the 25th of June.
Well,
say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later on in court.
Well,
you do say
what
may be given
rubbish.
evidence.
Have you got nothing better to do than make
We
things
can
up?
discuss this at Thorpwood Police Station, which is where we're going to.
How long had you been with Diane before you rang the ambulance? Did you try to do anything to bring her round? Did you check whether she was breathing? How did you check if she was breathing if you did? How long were you with her before you rang the ambulance? You said, I found Diane lying on the patio. She was unconscious. And then you said, I went inside to get the cord of the house phone. So presumably you had been out there with her before you rang the ambulance. Is that right? You went to get the cordless house phone. Where did you go once you had that phone? Were you inside the house and you made your call? Did you call 999 immediately? Did you do anything else with that? I've been instructed to perform CPR, which was chest compression only. In defragility, so chest compression. Do you have any training in doing DCR? Have you agreed with DCR? What do you mean, chest compressions only?
Right, okay, tell me exactly what's happened.
My wife's had a fit, and I think she's in the garden. She's in the garden.
Right, you need to slow down, okay, because she's
in the garden. She's unconscious.
Okay. Are you with the patient now?
I'm just indoors at the moment. I'm just
Can
going
you
out.
see her from where you are?
Yeah.
How old is she, please?
She's 47.
Is she awake?
No, she's not awake.
Is she breathing? Is she breathing?
No, I don't think so, no.
Right, you need to go and check on her, sir, for me, please.
I'm right beside her now.
Right, is she breathing?
No, sir, no.
She's not breathing?
Don't think so.
Right, well, check her for me.
Yeah.
Is she breathing?
I don't think so. I've turned her to try and put her in recovery position, but I can't do it. She's just flopped back. I think she's had a fit.
You think she's had a fit?
Well, I think so. She does have epilepsy.
Right, okay, just bear with me a moment.
There's a doctor who lives opposite. Shall I go and get him?
No, just bear with me a moment.
Ian continued to deny murdering his first wife throughout his police interview. But the evidence against Ian was overwhelming. In February 2022, Ian Stewart was convicted of the murder of his first wife, Diane. Prosecutors said that he had driven to the supermarket to get a French stick and pâté for lunch after one of their sons had passed their driving test. When he returned, he phoned 999 to say that his wife had had an epileptic fit in their garden. Their sons had been out of the house at the time, and the judge said that he believed he had killed Diane by putting her in a chokehold or putting something like a bag over her head. Ian was found guilty and sentenced to a whole life tariff, meaning he would spend the rest of his life behind bars. 4 months later, Ian Stewart appealed his full life tariff, and his sentence was reduced by the Court of Appeal. He must now serve at least 35 years for the murders of Diane and Helen before he can be considered for parole. Diane's sons, Oliver and Jamie, spoke after the trial that saw their father convicted of their mother's murder. They said, "We were privileged to have a wonderful, caring upbringing, and we were supported through all the activities and hobbies that we undertook. It's been really upsetting the last 6 years to have to recall the events of the toughest time of our life. We now look forward to recalling the many happy moments we had growing up as a family." Diane's sister Wendy and her brother Christopher said Diane was a very special, caring and capable person. She will always be greatly loved and hugely missed by her family and all who knew her. Helen Bailey's family said, "Helen was immensely witty and talented. We love her deeply and are immensely proud of her achievements. She is now at peace, and we shall all miss her terribly."